Yo guys, we are Rebellion and we are responsible for this year's Capital anthem. We attended a party together and we were speaking all night about bringing a new feeling to hardstyle. And during Team Red, when we seen the likes of Minus Militia and stuff, we really knew that there was a movement beginning, and that we wanted to be part of it musically and as a artist. So that's kind of where it started for us in the beginning.
Capital.
Raymond was actually making like euphoric almost music.
Yeah,
So
I was making like euphoric hardstyle. It wasn't actually tracks, just like ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
But then
And
we
then-
finally got together, and then we made our first track, which was actually
yeah,
euphoric. but
Euphoric. So when we begun, we were trying to find that sound, and it kind of came naturally.
yeah, it was just that's what we actually enjoyed more listening to at the moment, and being on the dance floor. It got us really excited. So and we had all these ideas that no one was doing yet. So we
Yeah.
felt like we could bring something new to rock.
Yeah. We actually also still believe that it can be combination, done in the right way. So I still listen to it every day. It's not like a musical taste, but in the studio for some reason we just always have the same feeling when we're making music, and it always ends up that raw feeling. So that's kind of how we make it.
I think we see the future of raw hardstyle, and in our way, I think it needs to be more like focusing on making actual like tracks. Like in the beginning, we focused on seeing how far we could push our sound outside hardstyle almost. But I think now it's more important for us to make actual music and real
Yeah.
tracks, but still keeping the Rebellion sound.
Yeah, because you can combine both. You can push boundaries and be accessible, I feel like. But yeah, I think it's important now for us to bring substance, because we've been in the scene now for like 3 years, and the worst thing you can do is become predictable. And sometimes being too far out the boundaries becomes predictable because people are already expecting that. So we think substance in our own music. And for everyone else, the future, I don't really know, because yeah, the worst thing I hate is when people sound like each other. So for me, if I'm not impressed by someone, even if this track is amazing, I'm not impressed if it's closely linked to someone else, because yeah, that just doesn't excite me. So I hope that there is something new to come that is completely new and not just a rerun of someone else, because I don't think that lasts for long. And that's one thing that we said from the beginning, that the Rebellion sound had to be something original and not like forced or something.
Yeah, I don't believe we're the hardest anymore. Like I still believe our sound is extreme when comparing to hardstyle, but for sure I don't think we're the hardest anymore. But
No.
I think it's also maybe a good thing, because I think hardstyle is going through a phase right now where people aren't really typically paying attention to how hard the track is anymore. It's about
Yeah.
what's in the track and the feeling and stuff like that.
It's also down to perception, because what some people think is hard isn't hard. For instance, some people link tempo to how hard something is, and that doesn't mean it's harder just because it's faster. So yeah, I don't really view it as who's the hardest. Like it doesn't matter to me at all. Like for how we make music, we never have it in our mind frame that this needs to be harder than someone else. It's just naturally how we make music. For me, hardstyle was something that I discovered, and it was pretty unknown to me. It was just music, because back in the days you used to just download folders of music, and it could have like hip hop to dance music. So I always had these tracks that were from Showtech and stuff in the early years, and I just labelled it as dance music. But the first time that I really like recognised it was hardstyle was probably when I started listening to like Headhunters and the early Bren Hart and stuff like that. So it never really changed for me, the feeling, because at the end of the day it's music, and it's all the same.
Is what it is.
Yeah, we get a lot of inspiration from other genres like rock, trap, dubstep, just everything. Like it can just be something so like one section
Yeah.
of music can just trigger a whole like idea of inspiration. So yeah, loads of stuff, movies, just weird stuff that probably you would never think that you could make music out of it.
Yeah,
But it's just
definitely.
weird stuff.
I don't know about weird. The only thing I can think about is the drums from Rick Astley, "Never Gonna Give You Up."
Yeah, we sampled that.
Sampled the drums for a track called
Yeah.
"Back to the Future," and we literally made none of the track,
Mhm.
and the only thing that was in the project was these drums, and we built the whole track round some drums
We
from
also
an
sam-
80s track.
We also sampled a dog barking and put it on top of the kick. Sounded really good.
Yeah.
We visited in 2014,
No, 15.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was insane. We loved the vibe, and it was just that real underground like feeling. It was insane.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that-
whilst being epic, because in the beginning in 2014-15, Raw was still felt underground, but Capital was the first thing that I'd seen where it was in a location that wasn't underground, so
Yeah.
it still had that epic feeling. So yeah, we fell in love with Capital the first time we visited it. So
making the anthem for Capital it's a huge honour. It's also a huge responsibility, and I think it's a challenge for us. But I think we welcome the challenge, and it's really exciting for us.
yeah, it's a track where we're thinking about other people, and we're not arrogant in the studio, but when we're making music we are literally making it for ourselves, and we just hope that people will enjoy it as well. But with this is the first time we've sat there and thought, well, it's not just about what we think. There's a lot of people who go to Capital, so yeah, that's challenging, but everything else is exciting.
Yeah, it was definitely a bucket list. We spoke about making an anthem for like a big party, like one of the Q dance parties or something, and it was the only one that we said that we would like happily do and that would be like excited to do, and all the
Yeah.
ideas that we had for it already. So
The good thing is the vibe of Capital fits
our
the
sound.
Rebellion vibe, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's not forced, whereas like there's a lot of other anthems that would be epic to make, but Rebellion making it wouldn't probably be
Yeah.
epic. So it's kind of the one that stuck out the most to us. Thank you guys for watching. We are Rebellion, and we will rise.
See you at Capital.